In this video, I specifically want to look at only the Ethereum chart, look at some levels, how low this could go, where we could potentially be looking for a bottom, and things I'm watching for a signal of a reversal. So let's dive straight into it. Before we start, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscription button down below, click that notification bell so you do get future updates. If you want me to send you an email every time I upload a video, the first link in the description down below, enter your name and email there. Once you click on it, and you will get on my email list and I can notify you that way. You can also follow on Instagram, Twitter, and join our free public Telegram. They are down in the description below. Okay, so before we start, I just want to mention this video. I'm not going to play it, but on January 28th, I made this video about Ethereum getting a death cross on the daily, which is when the 50 moving average crosses down through the 200, and that could potentially be a sign to see below $1,000 ETH or $1,000 ETH. And you can see at the point when I made that, that was over here back in January when we got the death cross. Now, usually at those points of a death cross or a golden cross, the price action tends to be at an extreme already and has a short-term bounce. So that is what we saw. The death cross marked the local bottom at the time, and we had this consolidation and this move back up here to the 200-day moving average. We got rejected, and now we just recently crashed all the way back down, and we actually got to a level that was the same level, the horizontal level of the May 2021 lows, the crash there last year, and basically the support that held up that resulted in a massive bounce last time. And this time, after a major sell-off where we went from 3,500, basically we dropped 50% in a period of about a month on Ethereum, and it went to exactly that level, and then it bounced once again. So the question now is, how much lower does Ethereum go? Where are we looking to put in a bottom? So again, nobody really knows the future. Nobody can tell you with any certainty that the bottom is in or where that exact bottom is going to be. So all we can do is look at what the chart is telling us and then use that information to be able to make educated guesses. So what we can see right now is one potential thing over here where we are starting to see a bullish divergence where the RSI over here on the daily is not showing a lower low, but instead a higher low. And in combination and confluence with this level over here, you know, maybe this ends up being some sort of short-term bottom, but that just isn't enough on its own, because what we still have is we are still technically in a bearish trend. Okay, we are making higher lows, we are making lower lows, and that, as long as that continues, the bearish trend is still there. We're also under a descending trend line. If you draw this, we're also below the 50-day moving average, the 200-day moving average, the 50-week moving average. So basically all the technical indicators still show that we are in a bearish trend. And keep in mind, there is still possibility that this goes lower. We are at $2,000, just over $2,000 for Ethereum right now. But what we are looking for is some sort of signal for a bottom. Now, bottoms tend to happen in these markets with either a period of accumulation sideways for multiple weeks or multiple months, like we saw here perfectly in May last year, May to July. So you see we got 3 retests of that low sideways and then a massive run up. Or what you can also get is a very sharp drop and more of a V-shaped recovery where it doesn't spend those couple of months going sideways or consolidating, and it just immediately recovers. So what we've had now is we've had this drop. So even if, say for example, in the best case, we get this kind of sideways accumulation, we could be looking at multiple weeks or maybe a couple of months of sideways movement and a couple of retests of the $1,700 level that could then potentially show us this is setting a bottom for further upside continuation. But one thing to keep in mind is there are still these points over here where if we do get an overall market capitulation, still, I mean, we may have seen it, but things could still get worse. You can see these levels over here on these previous wicks. Those are levels that could all get hit. And down here, as low as about $700. And if you zoom in, you can see over here on the chart, there is this gap between the bottom of this wick and the top of this wick. And a lot of times what tends to happen is that price tends to get filled to the candle below it. So somewhere, say between $800 and $700, there is potential if we get a further market meltdown that we actually do go sub $1,000 before the bottom is in. Now, again, that's not guaranteed to happen, but that is a possibility that you have to factor in. A lot of people are saying, hey, this was the capitulation, the bottom is in. You know, maybe in hindsight that ends up being true, but it does feel like a little bit too easy. A lot of people are still very happy. A lot of people are still buying the dip. It doesn't feel like an overall real capitulation. I feel like there was a lot more fear in even the March 2020 sell-off when we dropped like 50% in a matter of a couple of days. It's a short period drop, right? Very short. It doesn't mean we need to go down to $1,000 or $700 and stay there for months and months and months. But keep that in mind. Also, keep in mind that in the 2018 bear market, Ethereum dropped by more than 90%. It went from $1,440 all the way down to $90, or actually about $80. So if we're taking a 90% drop from 4,800, look where that puts us. I mean, you can obviously do the math, but you can see a 90% drop would take us to about $400 on Ethereum. So that $700, $800 level might not be as crazy. And again, it is going to depend a lot, I think, on the macro environment, on the stock market. I mean, if the stock market reverses and goes for a major rally, that might help Ethereum and Bitcoin and crypto not drop as low. But if the stock market does continue to sell off, which there is still a risk for, by the way, then we might be looking at lower levels, and maybe, you know, maybe we get a bit of a bounce, but we could still see a drop before it's done. So at this point in time, all we can do is look at the chart. We've had this drop, we have this temporary support that's holding here, but we have to wait for more confirmation if we are going to get more of a bottom here before moving up, or we can still simply expect that there is possibility of maybe more than a 50% drop from current levels before the bottom is in. And that's just good to know, because you can factor that into your strategy. You can you can help set your levels where you want to buy or keep some extra risk capital in case that does happen, because obviously if it goes really that low, that would be a much better buying opportunity than, you know, buying everything at 2,000 or higher and then having nothing left if it does drop. And of course, you want to be very careful with leverage and with any type of loans or collateral that you put up. Don't mess with any of that stuff. Actually avoid it altogether unless you are really experienced and you know what you're doing, because that is also a risk which could trigger the sell-off, is that there is still a lot of Ethereum locked in DeFi protocols with liquidation levels. So if the price drops enough and it drops fast enough, those liquidations, or that collateral can get liquidated within those protocols if margin isn't added, which means we could see some sort of cascade sell-off. It's not guaranteed that it is going to happen. Okay, maybe this ends up being the bottom, but there is still possibility for lower. So factor that in, and obviously manage your risk. Don't overextend. That is the most important thing. And then quite simply, two other things to help you determine when it is going to be a good time to be able to get more into Ethereum, or when things start to get more bullish, is also look at the 3-day chart, put on the 200 moving average, which is the red, or the 50 moving average, which is the blue, and look, as long as we're below that 50 moving average, yes, historically it's a good time to DCA. If you look here, dollar cost average, and slowly buy, but as long as we're under there, you know, it can take a long time before the bull run is back. So set an alert, keep an eye on that, the 3-day 200 moving average. If we can reclaim that, we might be looking at the start of potentially a new bullish trend, which is currently about $2,400. You can also look at the weekly chart. Again, same moving averages, simple moving average, very easy to do. 200, I've got it in red, and the 50, I've got it in blue. As long as we're below the 50, we're basically in a bearish trend. Same 2018 bear market. And once we get back above that 50 moving average, well then that's when bull markets tend to happen. And right now that 50-week moving average is about 3,170. So simply keep an eye on those, the 3-day 200 and the weekly 50 moving average. Set some alerts there, and that's the time to start really considering that's when we're bullish again. In the meantime, you know, we're looking at potentially going down to the 200-week moving average, which might provide support here also, which is about $1,200. But again, I would say it is possible to see sub $1,000 Ethereum before the low is in. Keep an eye on those levels that I've mentioned, and then just continue to take it, a week at a time. And then simply be patient. You can't force positions in these markets. The trend is the trend. The trend is your friend until the end, and then a new trend starts. If you found this helpful, please smash the like button down below and leave a comment with your thoughts. How low do you think Ethereum goes before the bottom is in? Do you think the bottom is in right now? Do you think we still go to $1,000 or lower than that? I would love to know. So comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And if you want more education, you want research, you want updates, you want to be part of the community, you want to get access to myself and my own buy and sell movements literally every single day in our Discord group, I give updates. You can come and check out my Intelligent Cryptocurrency VIP membership. It is the second link in the description down below. Everything what you get is explained on the page, and it is fully covered by a 60-day money-back guarantee. It's unconditional. So come sign up, join, come and spend a couple weeks with us. If you don't like it for whatever reason, you can get your money back. There's no risk to you. But if you want to learn how the crypto markets work and you want that edge in the community and the support, this is the best place to be. So second link in the description down below. Come and sign up, and I will see you in the next video.